Hey, what's going on guys, Turtle30 here, and welcome back to another video. This one is just going to be slightly different, and it's going to be very simple. I shouldn't really need to make this tutorial, but I'm going to make it anyway, just for if anyone does need it in the future. So I'm going to be making a tutorial on Blockbench, and how to use Blockbench, its capabilities, and just stuff like that. So Blockbench is very intuitive and easy to use, but yeah, people open it and they instantly go, oh, what do I do? What do I pick? How do I make cubes? How do I model? And I'm just going to be going over that today. So the first thing you want to do obviously is just download Blockbench. So if you want to go to blockbench.net, you can either download or open it in the web. Now, I think the web app is a recent thing, but it still works fine. So, here is the Blockbench web app. But I'm going to be using the downloaded version for this one. Not that there is any difference. But yeah, I'm going to be using the download one. So just click download. It's a very simple download. Choose the right one, so mine's 64-bit, and I'm just going to put that in my random folder with everything else I have, which is random, and just let that download. It's not very big, it's not, a massive thing. So now that it's done, you can just click open. It may come up with this, Windows protected your PC. That's just because it's from an unknown publisher, as it says right there, and obviously Windows just wants you to be safe, but it's perfectly fine. So just go ahead and click run anyways. Now we can just close blockbench.net. It's just going to install quite quickly. There we go, it is now installed and it will open straight away and also put the icon on your desktop. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on my taskbar as well. So it's going to open like this. Just want to go full screen and you'll instantly see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different options on the left, and you probably won't have anything on the right. So Java blocks/item is if you want to make a normal model for the Java edition. So if you want to make a block model, say if you want to make a table model or a chair or I don't know, anything, you would put that in here. If you want to model for Minecraft Bedrock edition, so like Windows 10, those editions, mobile, whatever, you choose this one. If you want to make entities, so in my entities tutorial I used Tabular. I regret that massively, but this Blockbench didn't really have modded entity capabilities back then, but now they do. So you can choose that for modded entities, and it does export as .java. Optifine entities, this is if you want to make an entity model for Optifine. I would assume you know what you're doing if you're with that. And Optifine part, also something to do with Optifine. I haven't really messed around with Optifine stuff before. And the last one is free model, so you can model without any restrictions, so whatever. Because for example, Java block/item, you can't have certain rotations because the game doesn't allow it and all that. I'm just going to choose Java block/item as it goes quite well with my channel. So you'll get in here and you don't need to fill out any of this, but you can if you want. So there's file name, parent model, ambient occlusion, box UV, texture width, texture height. I'm just going to click confirm. I'm not going to fill any of that out because it's not required. It's just a thing it will ask you to fill out, but you don't really have to. So then what you can do is you'll want to learn how to actually make the model. So how to actually get something on this little grid down here. So first, I'm just going to go through some controls first, that will be quite helpful to you. So if you just hold left click, that will allow you to pan around. If you use right click, that allows you to actually like move. So left click is to pan, right click is to kind of move the grid around, I suppose. Scroll wheel is to zoom in and out, and if you press the scroll wheel, it doesn't do anything. So don't try and press that because it doesn't do anything. What else? So that's some pretty simple kind of moving around stuff like that. There you go. Just get back into position. Okay, so as you can see, this is the facing north of your model. So you need to make sure, if you have your model and it needs to be a specific facing, you would have it like that. So the front would be facing forward and the back would be back there. So that's that. Yeah, that's all the basic kind of move around sort of stuff. So next you want to go and look at the different tools that you can use, I suppose. So you have move, you have resize, you have rotate, pivot tool, vertex, snap, and clone brush. You might not have all of these, so if you don't, you can just reset and then customize, and you can add all these different little tools to it. So there's loads. What we're going to want to do is create a cube. So how do you create a cube? You can see several kind of add buttons. There's quite a few, and the one you're going to want to use is this one. Yeah, so this is just a cube. So when you create that, you've got a cube. You can see this. You've got the properties up here, texture map, and the textures. But you probably, if you want to be organized, you don't want to create a cube first. So you just delete that by hitting delete. So you might want to create a group first. Now for Java block/items, groups aren't important at all, but it helps keep stuff organized. So maybe you could say main. Inside main you could have, I don't know, bottom and maybe like top, I don't know, and then bottom you can just add a cube. Just go to the resize tool, just kind of do that, move it around in the move tool, just make it a bit bigger maybe, I don't know. Then you might want to just duplicate it, put it in the top, move it up. You might just want to change the color for visibility, so red maybe, and then you have this, which is a model. It's pretty simple, to be honest, but yeah, I mean, that's a model. It's pretty simple to create. Obviously you can go in a lot more depth than that, but that's how you got these folders and stuff. But for blocks and items, you don't need groups. It's really not necessary. But if you are making an entity, however, you will probably want a group so that you can do animations, because animations work by group. So let's say this is an entity project. We might want to have body, and then inside body we will have our left leg, we will have our right leg, no, not just right, but right leg. You might have the right arm and the left arm. You might have the head So let's just say these are all the sections you have, and then inside the head you might have, you know, the actual head. Okay, so let's go like just create a simple model. So yeah, this is kind of an example of what you might do. If you wanted the ears to rotate separately, then in the head you might just create a new group, and you might want to call this group left ear. Maybe just duplicate that, just call it right ear, and then put the right ear in the right ear, and the left ear in the left ear, and then they can rotate individually or as long or aside with the head. So you know, that's a nice little thing. What else is there? There's loads of different things with Blockbench. Let's go through textures. So if you want to add a texture, you can go import texture. I'm just going to use one of the Minecraft textures. So let's see, what can we get? We could use, I don't know, orange wool. We could grab cobblestone. We could grab I don't know, daylight sensors, stuff like that. Then we can just click the cube we want to apply the thing to. So, and then just go daylight sensor, for example, apply to cubes. And you see that will apply it with some very strange UV. So let me just explain what UV is very quickly. So this up here is the UV section, and in the top left where it says UV. This is basically what each face will look like. So obviously you can see you got kind of this right here. You can resize it, you can do whatever, it doesn't really matter, and you can do that for each different face. Now you can adjust this, you can get Blockbench to adjust this for you if you want. I'll just show you that in a second. I'm just going to apply cobblestone to the arms. I'm going to apply wool to the legs. What else? I'm going to get another texture. I don't know. What else? Apparently my cherry planks are in here, so use your own texture. You could use for the head. And then, obviously you could have eyes and mouth and whatever, but I'm not going to go through that. Simple model, as I say. What else? Just bone block. You could use for the ears. Oh, and if you're wondering how I am selecting multiple cubes at once, you just click a cube, then you hold Control, and you click another cube, and that will allow you to select multiple cubes, which is quite nice. You can't like create a box and kind of select it like you can, for example, on my desktop. I can do that. You can't do that in Blockbench, but I mean, you don't really need to, because that's how you scroll around, so that's how you pan and stuff. Okay, so this is your model. So now what you might want to do is, I don't know, select the body group. We might want to go to the north UV, right click, UV mapping, relative, auto UV, then do that for the south, do it for the west, do it for the east, do it for the up, and finally do it for the down. Now this will kind of, it will apply the textures how it thinks would look best. So as you can see with the main body, it has made it connect around the front, back and sides, and also on the top, which is quite nice. But as you can see for the north face of the head, it's gone a bit weird. I don't know why the north face is that one. That's very interesting. I don't know why it's choosing that size, because that's not right. Or is it? Yeah, that's not right. I don't know why it's doing that. That's odd. But yeah, you can just do auto UV. For some reason it has kind of broke for the head. I don't know if it's got confused and thinks it's the ears. But, you can just manually fix these. I don't know why it would have done that, to be honest. It's also done something a bit weird with these ears as well. But, yeah, that's your kind of... That's your model, really. So then if you want to go and save this as a JSON, because for me this would be a JSON, this is a block model, so you can just go to File, go down to Export, and export block model. This will export it as a .json, so I might call this creature underscore model, and I'm going to save that in, I don't know, let's have a look. I can save it in Fantasia mod, which is my mob. Resources, assets, Fantasia, models, block, and you would save it there. I'm not going to save it because I don't want it. But you can also save the project, so as a BB model. This allows you to open it with the right textures in place. So I would just save this in my random and call it creature thing, and that'll save as BB model, which allows you to easily open it back with Blockbench. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over some plugins, mainly just how to get them. I'm not going to show how to use them. So what you want to do is just go to Filter, Plugins. Apparently I already have all of them. Let me just uninstall them very quickly. So you go to Filter, go to Plugins, and you'll see you have no plugins installed. If you then go to Available, you'll see all these different plugins. Now what I do is I get all of them, other than ambient occlusion. Now ambient occlusion doesn't work if you have any sort of transparency or translucency in your model, it doesn't work. So it basically does some, shadows and stuff, but it doesn't work with anything transparent. So I just install all the other ones, and this allows you to do a lot of different things. So you could read about them on that little section, but I'm not going to go over that because you can read about them, not me. And to use them, you can just go filter, and then you got all these different things. So you can generate shapes, which is very useful. So you can generate an octagon, a hollow octagon. Let's go, I don't know, radius. We're going to make the radius, 5. Depth 2, maybe. And that's just the center points, axis Y. Confirm. Border width, let's just make the border width 1. Confirm. And that gives him a little ring around him. Look at that. It's very nice. And you can mess around with that sort of thing. Just gonna move it that way. Okay, that broke everything, don't do that. But yeah, you see, then you have an octagon. It's nice. If you want, things like that. It's got a little halo on his head. It's a bit weirdly centered. I'm not entirely sure why. Pivot point. So you can change this. If we just move the X down a bit. Don't do that. It's because it's all kind of joined a bit. But yeah, it's a bit strange. 7.9. 7. Yeah, it acts really strange. Like, really strange. That's because you're kind of acting it as a group, and it's a bit weird. Anything else that I need to go over? Let's have a look. So you can go through all these menus. A lot of things are quite self-explanatory. If you want to screenshot your model, which you might want to do sometimes, is just get the right position on your camera in here, like that, and then you go to view, screenshot, and you can screenshot model, app, record a GIF, or time lapse. But I'm just going to screenshot model, and you'll see you can save it or clipboard it. I'm just going to clipboard it, and I'm just going to post it in my server. I don't know why. People might just find it funny because it's an awful model. And then if you just look in my server, there you go. There's me model. You gotta love it. Look, people, you should join my Discord server if you haven't already. That'd be very nice of you. Thank you. So yeah, that's the thing. Already getting weird replies. Told you. So yeah. What else? Toggle more options. You can export specific things. Oh yeah, you can choose to not export specific parts. So say I didn't want to export the let's say I didn't want to export the head. No, not that. It's not what I meant to do. Okay. Say I didn't want to export the head. I can just click on this camera, and that will disable all of these from being exported. So yeah, you can click the X here just to delete. It's all gone now. Yeah, what else? That's kind of it, really. There's not much else. Oh yes, there is. Let me go back. Control Z to undo and Control Y to redo, if you didn't already know. If you go to display, you'll see a lot of different options. Now this is what it will look like in your hand, and how it will look kind of in other ways that you don't see when it's placed down, really. So obviously in your hand, you see that's quite big. I can just kind of scale it down to 0.7. Just change that down on all of them. 0.7. You see that's a bit smaller now. You can just change the translation a bit, maybe. Move it there so it's not kind of attached. And Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Move it forward a bit. And you just kind of do that for the third person. So 1.5, -2, -1. 1.5, -2, -1, and then just 0.7 for these. And you see that will just work kind of fine for this hand as well. You can drag it around as well, so you don't have to mess with these values, but I'm just going to do that anyways. Third person right, so this is just what it will look like in your hand. Just move that about like that. You can scale it down once again if you wanted to. Once again, you can make it quite big if you wanted to. I don't know why you'd want to make it this big, but you can. Maybe if it was a small model. You can see how it turned out in a bow, which is, yeah, and crossbow, once again, yeah, because I've made it very big. You can turn it down to literally like nothing. So if you just did this, then you see it's right down there. It's very small. If I just move it this way, you see it gets a bit bigger. So you could do some interesting kind of rendering things with this if you wanted to. I don't know what, but you control it. You can do head, so what it would look like on your head. What I love to do with this, because most things I make in here, I don't want to be on my head, so I just make it as big as it goes, and then I just move it down so it covers most of my body. So then if anyone does manage to get it on their head, they will see something very interesting, and it's kind of like a little secret feature sort of thing. So yeah, there you go. And it's kind of your body's inside of it. It's very interesting. I love doing it. Can't quite cover the whole body with this model, sadly. I do wish you could, but you can't quite. That's the lowest you can have it. It's on the ground. Oh wait, where's the block gone? Normally there's a little block. That might be a rendering glitch at the moment. Unless that's a setting you change? No, I don't think so. There's normally a little block here, and you can see how big it is relating to the block. You can see how it is an item frame. That's also broken apparently. And GUI. Wait, where's the block gone? No, item frame. Oh, now the frame is showing the GUI. Oh god, okay. Yeah, they've broke this. I will tell them in their Discord server in a minute. But yeah, if you do want to join the Discord server for Blockbench, you can join it in the description. And my Discord server is also in the description, so join that too. Otherwise, you'll die. Yeah, you'll die. That's right. So join it, unless you want to die, in which case don't join it. Oh, you can also paint, but I mean, personally I don't really understand this. I mean, yeah, it's literally just kind of paint, but like, why? Edit. No, there's your model. I broke everything, but it's fine. So yeah, that's pretty much, well, that's not all there is. There's loads more than that, but I don't want this video to last for 8 years, so I'm going to end it here. If you guys did enjoy this little tutorial on Blockbench, please do be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I might be doing other little tutorials similar to this in the future, but But one thing I would like to mention is expect some 1.15 modding tutorials, as 1.15 Forge is just around the corner. So as soon as 1.15, well, as soon as a stable version of 1.15 Forge comes out, I will be making some tutorials on it, but don't expect it to be a massive series, as, you know, 1.16 is also semi just around the corner as well. Because we know that they've done a lot for 1.16, so it's probably reasonably close. I would expect maybe 1.16 in July or something like that. They normally have a summer update and kind of a holidays update. Holidays update was obviously the 10th and the 9th, because that was the Busy Bees update. And, you know, the Never update somewhere in July. If I had to guess, I would say the 18th. Actually, I would say the 18th of June. That would be my guess. If it is the 18th of June, thank you. Actually, let's have a look. 18th of June. June? The 18th? Okay, it's not the 18th of June. Let's say the 16th of June, because they almost always release updates on a Tuesday. That's just a thing you kind of have to know. Because look, 10th was on a Sunday. No, it was on a Saturday. 18th of June. I'm sticking with 18th of June then. If it's 18th of June, then it's 18th of June. And you're wrong. Yeah.